What band was the biggest disappointment to see live and what band turned out to be the best you've ever seen? I really don't have a worst, but St. Vincent live was amazing. Annie Clark plays the guitar like she's being channeled by an otherworldly being. Iggy Pop. He did not stand still for a moment throughout the entire performance. He was well into his late 60s at the time, and he was jumping off speaker stacks into the audience. Truly an amazing spectacle. Marilyn Manson was probably one of the worst. He stumbled onto the stage late, and incredibly intoxicated, slurred his way through 3 songs, before stumbling back off stage, leaving the band standing on stage wondering what was going on. He never came back on stage. Control+F Marilyn. Can confirm Marilyn Manson is a drunken douche lol. Shambled out on stage and proceeded to butcher all of his vocals. Good thing I didn't pay to see him. I went to see Slipknot and didn't even know he was going to be there. Me and some friends saw Death Cab for Cutie in London on the day that Ben Gibbard had his divorce from Zooey Deschanel finalized. That gig was incredible and there was some real emotion in the air that night. Worst, Hoobastank accidentally saw them twice. Best, LCD sound system. Oh, crap. I accidentally ended up at another Hoobastank concert. Skew me. Worst, Linda Ronstadt leaves the stage after 2 songs because she's too drunk. Best, Queen live in 1978 at a hockey rink. Festival seating 20 featuring from the stage. Streetlight Manifesto is amazing live. I have seen them 5 times and every time they kill it. Also, everyone sings along to every single song. It's dang near impossible to have a bad time at a ska concert. The amount of energy required just to play the music guarantees a good show. Plus, most brass sections get to screw around on stage for half the set, and they generally involve the crowd a ton when they do. Worst for me has got to be Passion Pit. Both times. I love the band, but the frontman is a mess, and he can't sing his own songs live for crap. Best would have to be Andrew WK. Both times. I know like 2 of his songs, but have had the best times of my life at his shows. 20/10 Party Hard. Motherfuck, I'm seeing Passion Pit next week. This thread was a bad choice. Got free tickets to a Kathleen Raw Jepsen show and decided to drop by for a bit, expecting to just jam to Call Me Maybe with the crowd and then leave. She had conveniently placed Call Me Maybe at the end of the set list, and leading up to that she performed what that turned out to be some of the best pop songs I've ever heard. I later found out most of these songs were from her then new album Emotion. She had a surprisingly great voice and stage presence which absolutely blew me away, and suffice to say I left the show a Carly Rae Jepsen fan. Honestly, as someone who generally dislikes pop music most of the time, Emotion is a masterpiece and I will fight anyone who disagrees. I saw Eminem 2012ish and he had Lil Wayne as one of the supporting acts. Wayne performed for about 20 minutes and then brought a half pipe on stage and proceeded to skate for the remaining 20 minutes of his set. Kendrick Lamar was the best artist I've seen live. A jazz band performed all of his beats live and he rapped without a backing track or anything. Honestly, I would love to see Lil Wayne skate for 20 minutes. Best has to be Iron Maiden. When I saw them 2 years ago, they're all about 60 years old, and they still can pull off a fantastic concert. Been to 3 Iron Maiden concerts and they are easily the top 3 concerts I've been to. They're absolutely insane and their new stuff is awesome enough that it fits right in with the classics. Saw Brand New opening for Modest Mouse last year. Brand New did fantastic and half the crowd left after they finished opening, which should have been my first clue in. Setup and sound check for took almost an hour after. Then after performing an underwhelming set, they leave with the fans chanting for their famous track Float On as an encore perhaps. I crap you not. The fricking house lights are brought up and a line of security personnel swarm the stage and ground floor demanding us to vacate the venue immediately. Never been to a shittier show than that. Black Eyed Peas were awful live. Fergie has the skin of a 60-year-old and you can tell they rely heavily on auto-tune. Franz Ferdinand was amazing live. They sounded perfect and put on a great show. Best would definitely have to be Weird Al. Fantastic artists, amazing show. I saw Anderson .Paak and the Free Nationals, who I highly recommend, at this smaller festival in CO and they blew me away. Anderson .Paak, The rapper singer got on the drums and slayed it. Got on the keyboard for a while too. Great improv jamming. Great sound. I've seen Wu-Tang a few times and it's been disappointing. Anderson Dart Park is just such a freaking star. Every now and then someone like him comes along. Just an unnatural talent and obvious superstar performer. Saw Arctic Monkeys at a festival right before they released AM. Found myself loving the entire set despite not knowing a single song. Huge fan now. Alex Turner is a freaking rock star. Arctic Monkeys are too good live. Bob Dylan was terrible. Granted he was old as dirt at the time and only did new, crappy songs. Like Snow was absolutely amazing. Dylan consistently surrounds himself with a great band. Always has. So there is that. His shows have been some of the best and the worst concerts that I've ever been to. Nas and Damian Marley were disappointing. Mainly because Damian was an butthole who talked crap about the crowd and the city for 65% of the set. Chaos was incredible, great energy, and you can tell all of the band members were super into it. I've been to a lot of those all-day concerts where a bunch of bands play, so it's hard to say who was the worst. The best however was My Chemical Romance on their Black Parade tour. The theatrics were amazing. Lots of cool stuff to keep you entertained and they played the whole album back to back. Then for the encore they came out and played another 6-10 songs from their first 2 albums. It was a great night. Not a band but 21 Savage was absolutely horrible live. He was high off lean and had no life in him at all. 21 doesn't seem like he'd be an exciting concert anyway considering that flow of his. I used to hate Keisha. I thought her music was awful and that she was a stereotypical party girl. Then I saw her live at a festival and had an absolute blast. This was before everything went down with her sexual assault case. Now I have a deep respect for Keisha and I'll always remember losing my mind to TikTok and just having fun. The Mountain Goats live shows are amazing. I've been to like 9 over the past 13 years and I don't think I've ever seen them do a bad performance. They have great energy, always seem super happy to be there, and the songs aren't just copies of what's on the album. Everything is different every time. Love it. Went to one of their shows. John Daniel got on a keyboard and played a song from Land Before Time. It was freaking fantastic. Muse is the best band I've seen live and I wasn't a fan. Am now. Got to see them twice and their shows have so much energy. That and they were the first band I ever thought sounded better live than on the album. Best equals Billy Idol 1984 at Blossom Music Center. Whoever was mixing Billy's sound was amazing. It was crystal clear. Worst equals Mary Chapin Carpenter 1995 at Chastain Park. If I hear the words "Let's slow it down" during a concert again, I will lose my crap. Best, Rammstein. Holy crap, do they put on a good show. Worst, Volbeat came on stage late and then complained a lot, played like 4-5 songs and left. Wanted to edit this because it seems people are upset about the Volbeat thing. I haven't seen a lot of bad shows so I was merely pointing out the worst. And let me be clear, Volbeat put on a great show but they were upset at the roadies for apparently fricking up something that delayed the start, and because of said frick up only played a handful of songs before having to get off stage for the next group. I love me some Volbeat, haha. Isn't Volbeat a Pokemon? Worst, Smashing Pumpkins after they got back together. Best, Tool. Was working in Vegas in 2008 on my birthday and won enough at blackjack to purchase the $100 ticket. So epic. Also featured Drew Moff with the System of a Down drummer. Dolm is a fantastic drummer, but I pity the man who goes up against Danny Carey in a drum competition. Worst, Cake. The acoustics were blah, and I'm not sure if this is just their style, but at a certain point the lead guy's monotone in addressing the audience just comes off as contempt. Also too much talking, not enough rocking. Best, Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. They played 3.5 hours in 2012, and these are not young people. I got tired, but was happy before they did. Absolutely amazing show. I've seen the boss 4 or 5 times now, and if he gets back to the UK, I'm going again. Those guys put on a fantastic show, and have such an incredible back catalogue that I've never seen the same show twice. Not even close. Last time I went, he played the most intense version of Point Blank I've ever heard. The crowd was hanging on to his every word, almost silent. I'll never forget that. As much as I love their music, Blink-182 had very little energy when I saw them. Best was against me. They really know how to put some oomph in their performances. Seether was the worst live. You could tell they hated being there and just wanted to make money. They barely talked to the crowd. Believe it or not, Slipknot puts on an amazing live performance. The energy and sincerity they put into their shows makes you really feel like part of the experience, not just a dude watching a band play music. Would recommend. Biggest disappointment was Morrissey. It happened to be a night he got into a snit and walked off early. Best was VNV Nation on 9, I think 2004. I'd seen them live before, but they just killed it that night. The energy was right and we all had a great time. You're gonna have to be more precise than that. One night Morrissey had a hissy fit. Muse is freaking awesome live. They're the rightful successors to the Pink Floyd holy crap lasers everywhere style of concert. Kate Tempest is also really special live. I don't go to enough shows to have seen a really bad one. Muse is so good live. I remember first time I saw them. They opened for My Chemical Romance and I've been hooked since. I went to a Keisha concert for her Rainbow album back in October. It was a magical, glitter-filled night. Honestly, I can only hope to experience that kind of emotion and energy again. 10/10 would relive. I saw Kesha while she was in the midst of the legal battle with Dr. Luke. Her hands were tied over what songs she could perform, but she still put on an amazing show. She did a lot of covers and songs that she had written for other artists. She apologized for not doing the radio hits, but it actually made the show better. As much as I love Coldplay, they don't play many old songs live, so that can be a bummer, but they put on a great show. Muse was freaking awesome too. Came here to see Coldplay. I don't listen to their songs at home, but I fell into some tickets and it was one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. I'll go every time they come back now. Bought tickets to see Ghost for shoots and giggles. Turned out to be the best show I'd ever seen. Goosebumps the entire time. Only seen 2 bands in concert unfortunately, but they were both fantastic. Lamb of God in 2012 and Megadeth in 2007, both at the Norva. I guess the biggest disappointment would actually be Twisted Sister, because they cancelled the concert and refunded everyone. Of course they'd refund your money. They're not going to take it. No, they're not going to take it. Panic at the Disco puts on an amazing show. Don't really have a big disappointment. All have been pretty good. I mainly attend country music concerts. I loved the Panic concert I went to. Sun Motel opened and Brendan put on the most incredible show. It was right after the election, so his team passed out colored paper hearts to put over phone flashlights during Girls, Boys. He did gospel on a floating piano and Bohemian Rhapsody as the encore. Blew my mind. Kendrick Lamar was absolutely amazing, hyping up the crowd and creating a fantastic experience that I will never forget. I saw Billy Joel this last August at Wrigley Field and he was amazing. He had a giant set list, great encore, and interacted with the crowd a decent amount. He's definitely perfected live performances, and although he's older, his age never felt like it took away any energy from his performance. My most disappointing concert was Weezer at Aragon Ballroom maybe 7 years ago. Short set list with not many fan favorites on it, and it seemed like they were just rushed through the entire thing by the venue. My first ever gig was Oasis in Dublin back in 2000. I was mega hyped for it as I loved them, but being a large outdoor show it fell foul to the weather, which in this case was a strong wind. The sound was blown around everywhere and I left just utterly deflated. I saw them many times since and they were tremendous though. My favorite to date is most likely Explosions in the Sky when they toured in 2016. Just utterly spectacular. Never witnessed a room filled with sound in the way that one was. Worst/best. Saw Michael Jackson on that 1996 tour as a preteen. It was awesome, but I sat next to one of the back speakers with no protection. Lost my hearing for an entire day and was left with tinnitus 4 weeks after. The Killers is the best band I've seen live. Frick yes, was really hoping to see them put on someone's best list. I'm going to see them in 5 days and can't wait. System of a Down sounds exactly like they do on their albums live. It was awesome. Really showed their talent and genuine authenticity. You may not be a big fan of them, but not too many bands can pull that off. Most disappointing. Bon Jovi. If it wasn't for Sam Bora, it would have been great, but he missed so many chords and made the music sound terrible. John Bon Jovi was still an excellent singer though. Worst, G-Eazy, My GF Made Me Go. Best, Death Grips. Best, Oasis or Flume. Worst, Lil Yachty. What a freaking disaster. Worst, Bob Dylan. Both times I saw him were terrible. Best, Grateful Dead. Every time I saw them was awesome and I am so glad that I experienced that whole scene, no matter how much crap people give me for it. Very glad that I never went to a Dylan and the Dead show. Temple of the Dog was an amazing night. Absolutely incredible performance, incredible set list, and they sounded freaking perfect even in the forum. Definitely worth the money and travel to see, especially now that Chris Cornell has passed away. Their music gets some hate I think, but 21 Pilots put on an amazing live show. I saw them in 2015 before I had heard most of their music, but seeing them live made me a huge fan. You wouldn't believe what two guys can do while one is behind a piano and one is stuck at a drum kit. Saw Britney Spears in Las Vegas. She didn't sing a single note the entire show. It was still fun though. Yeah, but nowadays you don't really go to a Britney concert for her singing though. It's more the theatrics and choreo of it all. You have been visited by the Wealth Rat. Subscribe in 12 seconds and he will share his wealth with you. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.